Hi everyone, it's Shel from Paper Actio Studio, and it is the 29th day of November and the 29th day of hashtag November Daily Art Journal Challenge. Hopefully today I'm a little bit less crazy than I was yesterday when I was a princess. Today, hopefully I'm very serious. So, the prompt today is zoo, and at first I thought I would make a section of, drawings of cute zoo animals because they're cute and I love animals. You guys know I love animals. I draw animals quite frequently on my channel. But I decided instead to be more, well, the thing about zoos is that they bother me a little bit. Now, zoos, I have to say they do a lot of rehabilitation, and they take animals that can't survive in the wild, that have been, you know, somebody's pet or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that zoos are bad. And also, I love to be able to see the animals that I would never be able to see in real life. I mean, I'm not going to go to the jungle and see a leopard. It's just not going to happen. And then that whole thought about zoos and animals in cages and everything brought me to another thought, which was how at one time was fashionable to actually wear animals on your body, to like wear their fur. And yeah, that's gross. I'm sorry if any of you have fur coats. I mean, I guess they're probably valuable at this point because I don't think they really make those anymore. Probably somebody does, I don't know. But anyway, I mean, when we were cavemen, wearing furs meant we survived, and that obviously was a smart idea. We also use the animals for food and everything, but nowadays you don't need to wear fur. I mean, really, you don't. Because there's so many beautiful imitation furs. And that brought me to my page. So anyway, I mean, I'm like so far behind in telling you what I was doing. This is a pretty simple page. I first looked into the fashion magazines, and the length of this video is going to be only like 15 minutes or something, and that's going to be kind of deceptive because it took me about an hour to look through the two fashion magazines that I have, and to pick out some pictures and to cut them out, and then to lay them out and cut them out, extra fine. So that took about an hour, and you didn't see any of that except for just brief clips of it. Then I decided I needed a background, and I wanted kind of an outdoorsy background. So I used some Dylusions paints to make kind of an ombre effect from blue to green on my page using a baby wipe. And then now I'm adding just like some clouds. This is a real easy way, if you don't have a stencil, to make some clouds. Just cut out of just, this is just plain printer paper. Just cut out a little cloud and then use a sponge with it. This is an artist sponge and some white acrylic paint. You could also do this with ink, of course. That's what I used to do, is you do it with ink. But paint works just as well. And now I have a background. And I think it's pretty bright and colorful. I like it. I like those colors, the way they fade together. So then I was thinking about cages and bars, and so I decided that my page did need to have some bars. Of course, zoos have habitats. Nowadays, they don't have bars. You don't look at the animals through the bars usually. It's either glass or it's, you're up on a platform and the animals are in a habitat, which is much nicer, I think, for us and for the animals both, I think. But anyway, I did want to, the prompt is zoo. I did want to have the idea of cages and bars on my page. So then I have all these cutouts of people wearing animal print. Animals have amazing print. I mean, I guess, for them to survive, they need to have camouflage and blend in or whatever, but they come up with some great stuff. Nature came up with some great looking stuff. Especially, my favorites are the birds and butterflies and hummingbirds. When I was in at the beach recently, I saw a red hummingbird. red, hummingbird. Never seen such a cool thing. And, they amaze me. But my concept here is that we imitate animals by wearing their print, and that imitation, not real, but imitation is the best form of flattery, which is what my title of the page is going to be. I think it's great to give homage to animals and their really cool ways of surviving by creating interesting patterns on their coats and by having fur, because obviously we don't have fur. Well, we have a little bit of light fur, but not enough to keep us warm. So we imitate them by wearing the things that they have evolved with. And that is really cool. So I cut out some different people, fussy cut obviously, and then now I'm sticking them down using the Liquitex matte liquid medium. This is the one that I found that best I can do light things like napkins and magazine pages with it. Don't go over it too much with your brush, because the inks on top of the magazine pages do come off and they make the glue on your brush all gray, and then you have to clean it. Yeah, anyway. Magazines are not my favorite thing to collage with, but it works. And they're all wearing animal print, and that worked great for my concept. When I originally started to look in the magazine, I was looking for a specific ad that I saw before where it was a lady who had body paint, and I was going to use that. She had like leopard body paint, which I thought was really cool. At one point in my life, I was a makeup artist, and so that was what I was actually looking for. And then I saw these, and then my idea evolved. So this wasn't something that I originally, it wasn't the first thing I thought of, Usually I do the first thing that I think of, and this one kind of evolved by looking at the magazines, looking at the different things, thinking about it, and feeling my feelings about what I think about zoos and fur and all those things. So I'll get off my soapbox. I mean, seriously. So this is washi tape, in case you didn't figure that one out. It's gray washi tape. It's made out of rice paper, and then it has an adhesive on the back, but the adhesive, you know what, it doesn't stick very good. So I'm using my matte medium under and over it as well so that it will stick down to the page. Then, that little saying, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. That's kind of what I was going for, except for it's snakes, tigers, leopards, and bears. Well, they're not really bears, but they're furry. I don't think bears have coats that are pink and blue and gray and black like that one chick, but that's fashion for you. Still furry. So that's why the question mark, and then oh my. And then, of course, my saying about imitation is the best form of flattery. Usually that's something that we say to ourselves when somebody copies our idea. That does happen. And then sometimes they ask if they can do it. Sometimes they give you credit, which is really great, and that's what should happen. Sometimes it's a collaboration or something like that. But when somebody just straight up takes your idea and then doesn't mention you, doesn't ask you if it's okay to use it, that is really, really hurtful. And that has happened to me a few times. And so, I know so then you're like, okay, well, imitation is the best the best form of flattery, they're copying because they really liked it, and that's what you say to yourself. Yeah, that's really nice of them to like my idea so much that they copied it. Yeah, but in this case, what I meant was imitation, as in imitation animal fur or imitation animal print, is the best form of flattery. Did I say I was getting off my soapbox? I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, so to make my images blend in a little bit better onto the page, I'm using a Stabilo All pencil. Yeah, that one wasn't stuck down. I sit there and I put that matte medium under and over and everything, and then sometimes there's still spots that are not stuck. I don't get it. It's crazy. So yeah, on the left side mostly, I'm using my Stabilo All pencil in black. I was trying to find my blue one, but I couldn't find it because I thought since the blue background and the green, I thought that would be nice, but I couldn't find it. I don't know where it is. So I used the black to make a hazy shadow, and I'm blending that with my water barrel brush. That's a paintbrush that has synthetic bristles and has water inside the barrel that comes out, so you don't have to keep dipping it. And also just kind of making a little bit of a hazy, you know, something that really bothers me is things floating with no ground. I know I've mentioned this before. It really drives me crazy. So I'm just making kind of like a hazy ground as well. But then I end up putting a line down there just because it's really bothering me that because all the images, some of them are closer, some of them are further away, and they don't have anything to stand on. They're like floating. They're floating. So this is a pretty effective way of making stuck on images appear as though they're blended into the page, that they aren't just stuck on there. Um, of course, they are just stuck on there, but you know what I mean. Yeah. You can also do this with another water soluble medium like a marker that is water soluble, or you could do it with, since it's a sealed surface, you could do it with like pet artist pens and blend them in with your finger. Because it's sealed, it has a few seconds of blending time. And sometimes I do that. It's just a good thing to do when you're collaging. For sure, for sure. So then I used my red Posca pen to really highlight the word imitation before going around all my little title blocks, word blocks, whatever you want to call them. And I'm making a very sketchy border. I like to make sketchy borders. Trying to make a straight border is nearly impossible for me unless I use a ruler, and I didn't feel like doing that. So anyway, if you enjoyed this page, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment so I know you're here. So subscribe if you haven't already, and of course you can share if you want to. Also, also look down below for any links that I might have to friends who have made a page using the same prompt. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.